All right, thank you everyone for watching. My name is Clint Baldwin here with.
I'm Nolan Clausen.
This is the first episode of Competing in Cornfields. And this is my new podcast, and as of right now, we are only available on YouTube, but eventually we will be available on iTunes as well as the podcast app. So if you compete in anything, it could be sports, the game of life as we all do, or if you're knowledgeable on a certain subject and would like to do a podcast with me, let me know, and we will get in touch and we will figure it out. A real quick word from our sponsor. This podcast is brought to you by 360 Fades Barbershop. That's 360 Fades Barbershop in Lincoln. It is a modern classic. You should drop by there for a new cut. They also offer traditional hot towel shaves. That's 360 Fades on 48 by Target and Canes. And while you're at it, you might as well go to Canes. Ooh, I'm not mad at that. Ooh!
Let's get that box.
Yeah. All right, enough from me. Let's hear what Nolan has to say about Midwest movement.
All right, so I'm Nolan Clausen, and I am a co-owner of Midwest Movement. We're a chiropractic and functional rehab. We're located in Elkhorn, Nebraska, and also in Omaha. I am a co-owner, and so I am in partnership with Whitney Hazy, a classmate of mine, and we are trying to bring you a new, innovative way of chiropractic care. So.
Yeah, and already you've helped me a lot. I had what I thought was a terrible back injury. Like maybe I can never wrestle again. I can never do something, anything again. But and it turns out that through some therapy and through some wise words, you gave me the confidence in that it might not it's obviously not career ending.
Right. And we find that a lot with athletes, an injury or a pain or a hurt or things like that. We're hypersensitive of our bodies. We are well more aware than the general public about just in general, like how our body moves and how we interact in our sport. So with that being said, like a lot of times with athletes, we just have to talk them off the ledge. We have to tell them that, they're not as bad as they think they are.
You're not going to die.
Yeah. With Clint in specifics, I
was afraid.
He had very minimal pain. So he had like a 3 out of 10 pain, but it was kind of keeping him from excelling in his sport. And so one of the things was I had to tell him, like, hey, pain is all right. It's kind of one of those warning signs. If we turn up the volume knob on it, then that's when we need to know that we need to shut it down. But with one of those things, like, we were able to teach him ways and give him ways to actually turn that volume control down right away. And if we're able to do that, then we can compete in those sports, turn that volume up. But as long as we're able to turn that volume down, we're safe for play.
In my case, it was 3 simple movements that, I did every day, like maybe twice a day. I didn't follow strict doctor's orders. Don't tell the doctor.
Right. Yeah. So with our approach to chiropractic care, we really stress the importance of, we're trying to teach you ways to cope with your pain, teach you ways to empower yourself to get out of pain, and to be able to treat yourself. In our society today, so much of healthcare is reliant on the practitioner or the doctor, either prescribing the pain medication or the medication in general, or a surgery or things like that. And so much is taken out of the client's hands that we become reliant on our practitioners. And so one of the main things that we're really focusing on is trying to push that back onto the patient and give them the power to, treat themselves. We honestly, we don't want to see you, for the rest of your life. We want to get you better, get you onto that road to recovery, and kick you out the door. We want to see you succeed, and it's our job to see you succeed. So if you have to see us for the rest of your life, honestly, how good of a practitioner am I? We want to definitely make sure that you're able to succeed on your own. And we're just going to be that little boost of energy that gets you there. So,
Yeah, no, exactly. And do you have any advice or like treatments that people can do at home or anywhere where they can get some materials to, figure out what they can do easily, without having, a giant weight set or anything like that?
right. It's kind of difficult right now in the world of Instagram, the world of Facebook, to find good, reliable content to try to help yourself. My biggest thing for athletes and general population is find a movement practice of your own. For somebody that is calm, quiet, yoga might be the greatest movement practice ever for them. For somebody that is like me, loud, boisterous, very, I don't know if the right terminology is correct, but ADHD, but constantly have to be doing something. Um, Fitness or strength and conditioning, things like that is my movement practice. But finding something that you're doing every single day that is taking you through full ranges of motion under control. So with that being said, a movement practice every day that doesn't have to be an hour of strength and lifting, but it can be 5 minutes of just moving through all your joints in one simple thing. And then the next thing is breathing. A lot of people, if you took a general poll of everybody in the, are we good? Cool. If you took a general poll of everybody out in the general,
How's it going?
all right. If we took a general poll of everybody in general population and we asked them to just take a big deep breath in, go ahead, take a big deep breath in. Everybody, their shoulders rise up. So our bodies weren't naturally designed to breathe up through the chest, but we're actually designed to breathe through the belly. So taking a mental note, trying to focus on how you breathe could be a great practice for anybody and probably everybody. So trying to breathe through the belly and actually breathe in a full 360 degrees, pushing the belly out with the breath in. I think that could go a long ways for people's health and general well-being.
Yeah, you can't be self-conscious about that. But one thing that I was trying to poke at is I believe that if you get involved with Midwest Movement, you do get like
Right.
a PDF that'll show you something you can do in your own office, which is what I keep this email in my inbox the whole time, no matter what. And they also have like a stand-up app where it lets you know stand up every 45 minutes. That's great, but if your boss is on you or something like that, you should definitely check out their PDF. How do you find that?
So right now, actually on our website, if you go to midwestmovementelcorn.com, there will be a pop-up that's asking for your name and your email. And right now we're actually promoting our low back pain warm-up. It's just a very simple guide to a general warm-up to protect your low back. But we also have, if you guys are interested, you can email us at clinic@midwestmovement.com and we will send you a free PDF of a desk mobility guide. So we recommend that you just print that little PDF guide out and you just pin it up to wherever your workstation is. And we recommend that you just move every hour. And if you did this simple thing, I think we could probably take away a lot of people's pain just with this simple PDF. And we're doing it every hour. Clint mentioned the Stand Up Every Hour app. That is not our app, but that is a great app, and I believe that it's free, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Or you can just set a timer on your Apple Watch. Everybody
Yeah,
has one of these
they recommend
these days.
45 minutes, but
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
I mean, that's not feasible to everybody. It's not feasible for me, to be honest.
Right. Honestly, if you could do every 2 hours, if you could do every
Yeah,
4 hours, people are notoriously bad for, getting in the zone and just sitting at their computers and just working away. Um, uh, so much of our lives right now is spent sitting, so we're trying to compete with that a little bit.
yeah, and also you have videos on your Facebook page of however many warm ups you can do in the morning.
Yep, yep. We have a few videos on our page. It's kind of like a fast forward, time lapse of me just going through every single joint from the neck all the way down to the feet, going through full range of motion under your control, and trying to, just wake up your muscles and go through the end range motion every single day. I think this is truly a case, if you don't use it, you do lose it. So that's the goal in this. So all you 40-year-old virgin credits out there, not you.
Yeah. All right. So we have a few fan questions in here, and before we get to those, I want to give a quick thanks to another one of our sponsors. This podcast is also brought to you by Jing Mo Tong and Ray Peterson. Check them out in Lincoln, Nebraska. They do kung fu, lion dance, and much more. Link is in the description. Please check them out. Thank you very much. All right, our first fan question, I believe, is from my sister-in-law, and she said, "How do you keep up the willpower and discipline to reach your goals?" Nolan, do you have anything to say on this?
Goal setting and willpower, honestly, is all about that final goal. So if you're not clear exactly on what your final goal is, and that final goal can be very specific and it can also be abstract. But if you're not clear on what that goal is, then you're really going to struggle at trying to figure out exactly what you're working towards and what you're working forward to.
Yeah, no, I agree. Uh, so yeah, you definitely have to have the end goal in sight, and some early goals ready to go, and yeah, no, I agree with that. And one thing that really helps me is that I have a mantra that I would rather be busy and tired than lazy and well rested. Like oftentimes we fall into a like negative feedback loop, and I personally I'm on the tail end of it. Like I'm almost out, and like I'm been doing way better than I ever have. Like since I've been in like the hole, but like after work, like you're tired, and if you don't have anything you absolutely have to do, you feel like okay, yes, I can go to Little Caesars. I can just watch TV tonight and have a good time and go to sleep and then be fine tomorrow. I'm like, okay, yeah, like every once in a while that might be okay, but like, you know, I feel like you would have more satisfaction if you're in the gym, and then there's also the worst, like oh you're not feeling the best. Well, I know what'll make you feel better. How about you go and get some booze? And this one being the worst, and so you'll be in the same shape tomorrow as you were the day before, and you won't be getting anywhere. I did not exactly want to go to wrestling practice until 8:30 last night, but I knew I would be tired today, and but I did wake up. I felt good. I felt motivated that I did have a good workout the night before. I am going to do a podcast tonight. I did have an interview at my job today, and if you want have more stuff, pile it on. I'm ready to go. Like I'd rather be tired and busy than lazy and well rested. Like bring it on.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Keeping yourself busy is a great way to
Yeah.
having discipline and willpower, because I'm a person that works off of procrastination. So when the deadline is near, I work harder. If that deadline is far out, then I'm definitely not going to work that hard towards it. But with that being said, like I was saying earlier, like being clear on what your goal is in the very end is so important. So whether that is as simple as just I want to be a dad that has a six pack and show my kids that I am physically fit. Um, so then you work backwards from there. You work, what are you going to do the next 5 years to make sure that happens? Then what are you going to do in the next year that makes sure that happens? What are you going to do the next 6 months that makes sure that happens? And then what are you going to do the next week that happens? It doesn't matter whether you're the person that likes to write all this stuff down or whether you're the person that just likes to mentally plan this. I just think it's very good practice to physically think about exactly what that goal is in mind and then work backwards to those goal oriented um, steps. And Clint's exactly right. The more we keep ourselves busy, the better that we're going to keep on track with those things. Um, like everybody knows, like if you went to college, you went out on a Saturday night and you spent that whole Sunday, just laying around on the couch watching football, watching movies. We did it a lot. Um, but Monday morning, we had nothing to show for it. We might have
Still might not have felt that great either.
Yeah. We didn't have football practice on Monday, so we didn't really worry about that. But we had class, things like that, and Monday was a day of kind of regret. Honestly, we thought back on it and we're just like, "What the hell did we do?" Sorry for the language, but why did we just waste a whole day? We could have been more productive. We could have gone in and got a workout. We could have been better at athletics. We could have been better at our academics, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah.
there's a lot of things that if you you make that second decision to feed the now, as opposed to feeding the future, and you'll have a lot of regret. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Real quick, sorry, like a little technical difficulties, but we got it patched up into 15-minute segments. Next time, be much better.
Yep. So kind of feeding off what Clint had to say about keeping yourself busy. I definitely believe in what I was saying earlier about if you have a clear message or a clear goal in mind, about what you want to accomplish, then it makes everything easier and you work backwards from there. So for me, I want to have a successful chiropractic business. And that sounds very vague, but it's something I can build off of. So then I look at 5 years from now. I plan to have that within 5 years. So then in 3 years, what does that look like? I plan to have so many patients and I plan to have so much in revenue, and then breaking that down into a year. I plan to have so many patients, so much revenue also, and then also I plan to be practicing this way, or my business is running in such manner, and then break it down into months. This can easily be applied to things like whether you are a mother that has a six pack, or things like that. I'm not implying anything, but just the fact of that you have something pictured in mind in the future of how you look, what it looks like, and what it feels like to be in that situation, and then work backwards from there. And what are the steps that it's going to take to get there? And Clint's exactly right when talking about keeping yourself busy. We always found this like to be a constant with us that every Sunday after a long Saturday night, because we played football on Saturdays and we really lived it up on that Saturday night. Yeah, we did. But every Saturday night we went out, and Sundays were for lounging. We watched football, and don't get me wrong, we had great memories watching NFL football together in our stadium seating, but every Monday we woke up with regrets, like, man, I really wish we would have done our homework, or man, I really wish we would have got things done or gone and worked out. Think how much better of a person we could have been in the future just based on that one day. Um, in today's society, we're a constant immediate satisfaction, and try not to feed that, but think about what that goal is. Think about what that immediate effect is going to have on that long-term commitment or that long-term goal.
Man, I agree. There's so many things that'll make you immediately happy that will make you feel worse tomorrow even. And I do recommend journaling. I need to do better at that myself.
Yep.
Like that was one thing. I was in sales and I was not very good at it. Like just because I felt like I was too nice and not persistent enough. But as soon as I did make a bunch, my dad would be like, hurry up, write down how you feel. And then so you figure out, you remember how you feel. Like, hey, I just made all these sales and I'm super jacked. And so that way you can read it again and you want to make more sales. Same thing if you feel good after a workout, going and really getting your butt kicked. And then you're like, all right, hey, that was way better than lounging today.
Right.
So, yeah, I would recommend journaling, and I am going to do a better job of that myself.
Right.
Yeah. And so we have, all right. So, my brother actually sent this one in. Have you looked into this at all? How to stay in shape whenever you have a baby coming?
All right. So, little fact about myself. My wife and I are expecting. We're due in March. Honestly, I have not really thought about how I'm going to stay in shape. Um, I know it's just being super naive that I'm going to have time to still work out and time to dedicate to myself. Um, I am in a little different circumstance because I work in a atmosphere where fitness is kind of utmost importance. So we'll have a gym in our clinic, and the other gym that we're treating out of, I can obviously, if I got 30 minutes to spare, go work out.
Full gym, they have everything.
Yeah. So I am in a little bit different circumstance. But with that being said, time management is probably the number one thing that I have vaguely thought about when it comes to having a kid and trying to stay in shape. So using my time wisely. Everybody has 30 minutes where they're literally spending on time on Facebook, Instagram, watching Netflix. Think about those times. Those times are very valuable. Yeah, you might get that immediate gratification of watching those shows or seeing something about somebody's life that doesn't matter to you, honestly.
You might be checking your likes.
Yeah, so those are vanity things. So making sure that we use our time wisely. Another great discipline or kind of a cheat is movement snacks. So the physical therapist that we work with, she loves this saying is movement snacks. So, everybody has snacks throughout the day. I know Clint does.
All the time.
Clint has lots of snacks throughout the day. So think about movement or exercise or anything as snacks. So throughout the day, can you spare 1 minute of doing some little movement whether it's at your desk. Movement snacks, doesn't matter. You're still burning calories. Um, and that's the name of the game. So you want to burn more calories than you take in, um, especially with general population. Uh, so if if you can think about movement snacks throughout the day rather than trying to have an hour and a half carved out throughout your day of exercise, let's think about movement snacks. So Parker, I know this is a direct question from you because you have one expecting on the way. Congratulations, by the way. Um, I'm super excited, super pumped for him. He's gonna be an uncle. That's really cool. Um, but so think about like what you do in the morning. Is there 10 minutes that you could set aside to do, 20 push-ups? That's easy. That's really simple. Or could you do 30 air squats in 5 minutes? I believe.
Put on your Kobe's. You can do it.
Right. We all know you got the shoe game to fit it. So actually make your shoe game fit the physical game. Okay. So, but it's just about being disciplined. So I believe you can do it, and I believe everybody can do it, and it doesn't have to be standardized fitness.
Yeah. All right. We got another one from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor Mark Landa. He asked, "What's your competitive mindset, hometown versus away?" I have a little bit of insight on this. Like, in my experiences with football, like, we travel to South Dakota. We go to the middle of nowhere, Iowa, to go play football. We always eat at a buffet. And
Right.
like that's not good because we don't normally eat at a buffet.
The Golden Corral.
Well, no. If we're going
Right.
if we're going
Right.
to buffet, it's the Pizza Ranch.
Yeah.
And don't forget it.
Yeah, Pizza Ranch.
Don't hate on the Pizza Ranch. But anyway, yeah, but not before games. And all right, so like we don't normally eat at a buffet before games. So like, why would we eat that? We don't eat that in our normal lives. Why would we eat that before games? And I remember I had a shaker cup full of oats and protein and a peanut butter ball in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember eating that like for maybe like a couple meals. And it is disgusting, but it that is like what I was ready normally eating, but normally made in a bowl all nice at home. But yeah, keep things as normal as possible.
Yeah.
And
don't be like me. I was getting ice cream, with gummy bears on the side. I was a terrible athlete about this, and guess what? I had my worst games away.
At least my first one, I didn't play a ton, but I remember eating steaks, and then like hold on, like steaks, yes, good. Golden Corral steaks, bad. It didn't
Right.
work out. It didn't work out for me. But,
The overall arching theme is what he's trying to say is just be consistent.
Yeah.
If you wake up at 6:00 when you're at home every weekday and you're competing on a Friday, and you normally wake up at 6 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. Doesn't matter if you went to bed later the night before. Be consistent. Keep your day the same. If you normally go and do like a 30-minute jog, go do that 30-minute jog. So like everything is about consistency, and your body is a natural conserver. So anytime we do things out of the normal, it throws our body in through a loop. So consistency is the key.
100%. And I also believe that it was Hoist Gracie said he would never make plans for after a fight. Like he was ready to die in the ring. He was in UFC 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and he like won them all. But so he was ready to die in the ring. You don't have to be ready to die on the soccer field or whatever you're gonna do. But like if you have a bunch of people coming in and it's your home place, chances are they're still gonna be there whenever you're done with the game, and you can make plans with them then. I've done this in MMA. It's backfired. I'm not making excuses, but like I have thought about it before a fight, that, hey, I have all these friends there. Hey, we're gonna go such and such. We're gonna do this and that, and we're gonna
Sorry.
party it up. Yeah, no. It's not obviously not a big deal. It's all on the competitor. Yeah, and also like another thing about being at home is if I have another MMA fight, I'm not sure that I will, but like coming off a loss at home is tough because all your friends and family are there and they all want to give you fighting advice and they don't understand how personal MMA is. Every 40 and 50-year-old guy who had a heavy bag in the 80s wants to tell you how to strike. I'm like, okay, cool, bro. What fight did you learn that in? No fights? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Like, cool. Yeah, so, like, you don't want to hear all that, and it does stink if you lose. Like, hey, maybe look at it that way. Like, if you are away, um, it, if you do end up losing, it's not the end of the world. And, but obviously, like, winning, there's nothing better than winning at home. I've had a couple of those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kick some butt.
Yeah. But hey, all good. Oh, this one is specifically for Nolan. Is like, all right? So how do you know if you're overtraining or just need a break, or are just sore and should try and push through?
So this is kind of a difficult one, but there's often times that the mantra of with strength training or fitness that we need to be sore after our workouts. Um, Typically, this is not true. If if we want to get the most gains, because we're all about the gains, like Clint says, like look at this. Oh yeah, gains. Um, we don't need to be sore. Delayed onset of soreness is not actually a great thing. Um, so soreness 2 days afterwards, we overtrain. If other things such as sleep are affected, we probably overtrain. If you wake up groggy or the next day you don't feel the same, these are all signs that you have overtrained. Um, if your immune system starts breaking down, we have overtrained. Muscles are stiffer or tighter or more sore than normal. We've overtrained. Things like these are definitely tall tale true signs of overtraining, especially with general population. Um, there's this stigma that, in January it's coming up. Um, First of the year, we have New Year's resolutions, so we're going to hit the gym every single day. If you have not been in the gym every single day leading up to this point, this is not a great idea. Um, you're going to overtrain yourself. You're going to burn out and you're going to quit going to the gym. Um, Even if you were doing 3 days a week before this and your goal is to make 7 days a week, that is a ridiculous goal. You should take it 2 weeks, even if it's maybe a month at a time. So if you were doing 0 days in the gym, let's work at 2 days a week for the next month. And if you can be very consistent with that and not skip a week with 2 days, then let's move on. Let's go to 3 days a week. Overtraining is a huge issue with general population and with athletes. You shouldn't be sore 2 days later. You shouldn't be burnt out on exercise. You should always be progressing. Um, I got to admit, like early on in our training through college, we were overtraining. We were always sore. It affected football.
Lifting after practice.
Yep.
After getting beat up.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Affected basketball. It affected, general well-being, academics. Honestly, overtraining can affect
academics.
Your mental.
Don't matter.
It didn't matter.
JK.
It didn't matter in undergrad, but being older and wiser, it matters now.
Yeah. Yes.
So the fact that we were overtraining a lot and like excessive amounts, and everything took a toll. So if you notice declines in your general life, that's a tall tale true sign of overtraining. So be weary of those things, and the greatest way to do that is journal.
Yeah, once again, going back to the journal, real quick. So, Coach Farasa Hobby, coached George St. Pierre and everybody up at TriStar, Harris to Lenzig, my boy. Um, so he says that, most people don't necessarily experience overtraining, but they experience under recovery.
Mm.
And I would like to hear what you have to say about that, and also what you have to say about those Whoop watches or things that make sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, so under recovery, that is an actual thing.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it also, but you finish your workout with hardcore bicep curls or a hardcore cardio session, and you pack up your bags, walk to your car. In my case, I turned on my heated seats all the way home and feel like that was a good cool down.
It loosens up the lower back.
Right, right. Even being a chiropractor, I'm still an idiot sometimes. But so those are instances of under recovery. Um, so I definitely agree. So like when we are exercising, our heart rate gets spiked up. Okay. And then we try to go like back into our normal lives or sit in a car or go back to sitting at a desk, and we try or expect the body to drop the heart rate down to here instantly, um, and then work at this level for the rest of the day. um, our body has what we call a fight or flight response or rest or digest response. So when we're working out, we're in this fight or flight response. Our heart rate is clear up here. And so at the end of our workouts, we should think about tapering down our heart rate all the way down into that rest digest phase. So, my simplest, easiest way is our warm up, reversing our warm up. Maybe many of you probably don't have a warm up, but so we'll start there. But if you are taking your warm up and starting from a laying position of just breathing, your heart rate is clear down here. Everything we do in our warm up should be talking about bringing that heart rate up to where we're working out at, and then we work out with peaks and valleys all the way. Um, but then at the very end of our workout, our heart rate's clear up here, and then we should slowly try to reverse that back down to a resting stage. Our body hates drastic changes, so if we can gradually work it up, keep it at a plateau, and then gradually work it back down. Um, so like it looks ridiculous, but if at the end of a cardio session, so for example, you just got done rowing 2,000 meters, uh, going back and doing a dynamic warm up like butt kickers, high knees, things like that, that we use to spike up our heart rate right before the workout, doing those. And then regressing back down into like a corrective exercise. So things such as like a core exercise or a dead bug or I'm kind of blanking on some corrective exercises.
And planks.
Planks are a great one. um, Going into those and then going into foam rolling actually at the end. um, Foam rolling is a whole nother subject, but don't spend too much time. Target the tissues that you want, the muscles that you want, spend 5 seconds on them, move on. And then at the very end, prop your feet up on the wall and just breathe. This is the greatest way to just slow your heart rate down in a slow manner. Um, and then you can go out throughout the daily life. Um, and for the Whoop bracelets, I actually own a Aura ring. So this one is actually not my Aura ring, but if you don't know what an Aura ring or a Whoop bracelet is, but it it records your heart rate variability, so it can track some of your recovery. Um, Whoop and Aura, they can both be very expensive, but I think they're very valuable to the high level athlete or the high level fitness person. They track things such as heart rate variability, so the ability to change the amount of time between heart rate impulses. Excuse me. Um, but being able to track that kind of stuff and sleep, O2, um, time of sleep, all those things can be very beneficial as long as you use them for benefit. Don't look at your score and just go, all right, I can't work out today because I had a terrible score. No, you should look at it as, all right, I slept bad last night, so we're gonna take it easy, and we're gonna really focus on my sleep tonight. Um, Oftentimes with athletes, we tend to focus on the negative, and that can be kind of burdensome. So, like if my sleep score was a 50%, and I look at that and go, "Oh my God, I can't work out tonight. I just need to um, take it easy all day today, and I need to eat
Yeah.
a ton of food."
Go to Little
Um,
Caesars.
right.
Don't do that. Don't
Eat
do
ice
that,
cream. I
actually.
need calories, like things like that. We can actually have a negative effect. So, um,
100%.
if you're one of those type of people, I don't recommend one of those bracelets or the rings for you.
But if you're a high level athlete,
Absolutely,
get one. Or if you're at least like working out a lot.
yeah,
If you're working out a lot and interested, you should probably get one, right?
yeah. I
If,
definitely think,
if you have the money or whatever. I don't even know how
yeah.
much they cost.
Um,
I actually want one.
so an Aura ring, I liked it. It was about $350. I wear it at night. That's about the only time I wear it. I absolutely hate anything that's hard structure on my hands, especially being a chiropractor. I work with my hands a lot. So I don't wear it during the day, but I wear it at night. Um, and to me, that was my wedding ring. I didn't buy an expensive band. So that was kind of my thing. I think the Whoop bracelet, it's about $30 a month. So that can kind of be expensive also. But to me, I just didn't want that monthly fee. I just wanted a one time payment.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask where your ring is right now. But yeah, just kidding. So real quick, we had a late entry, and they wanted to know about milk, and they brought up the fact that maybe back in the olden days that people only drank milk or had dairy products whenever they were like breastfeeding and stuff like that,
Right.
and then now everybody eats dairy all the time. What do you
Yeah.
have to say about that?
So milk is it's kind of one of those things that like as a athlete we drink whole milk all the time. We
All the
we
time.
we couldn't consume enough calories. Um, so it was a great strategy for us with the fats and the proteins and carbs at that time. Um, that's another misconception. Fats are good for you, unless they're trans fats. So try to avoid those. But um, milk, it's one of those things that, if you are feeling chronically inflamed, so a good test of that is you can push on like your ankle or for me that works, but like areas of pain that you have or joints that you have and they're inflamed, um, it could be because of dairy. Dairy and gluten, for that matter, are two things that actually cause inflammation in our bodies. Um, so if we can cut those things out, we can actually try to chronically take out the inflammation out of our body and try to, you know, take out the inflammation. Try to get pain levels down. Try to move better. Uh, Milk, I I don't want to get into whether it's good for you because it's produced by your mother, like all those things like breastfeeding and all that. There's a lot more that goes into that, and but at an older age, dairy in general I don't think is a great idea. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if it works for you and you don't have any problems, go for it. If you do have problems, maybe look into it. And we've got about 2.5 minutes left, Nolan. What do you have to say to people who maybe hate on chiropractic in general?
um, I don't blame you. One, chiropractors have constantly and forever had this bad rap of, you know, once you see them for the rest of your life. Things like that. All they do is crack and pop you. Um, and we're kind of trying to change the game of that. But I don't want to throw chiropractic in general under the bus. When you see a medical doctor that you hate or somebody that wasn't able to help you, you don't throw them under the bus. So one of the things that I want to say is don't just throw chiropractic in general under the bus. Throw that person under the bus. Throw that general chiropractor under the bus and try somebody new. Try somebody that's probably into more exercise or more fitness related stuff. I believe that they're going to be able to help you quite a bit more. So
Sweet. And like we are still running. Do you want to go through the rest of the questions, or?
yeah, let's go.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we are broken into 15-minute segments, but we're gonna keep it rolling.
Right.
So, what is one thing that you wish you could tell your junior high school self that you believe would have made you a better athlete, and one thing that might be good for injury prevention?
So I have to go back to like my general health as a high school athlete and just think like very broad based. Um, and the three things that I came up with: nutrition, sleep, and mobility. If you are a high school athlete out there and you want to compete at the college level or you want to compete at the pro level, if you can be very consistent about your nutrition, sleep, and mobility, um, I believe you can probably compete with the best and you can also dominate. Um, I was a high level athlete in high school. I was very good at basketball. I was a decent football player, and I was fast in track, and I was a decent baseball player. But before basketball games, you know what I ate and drank? I drank an energy drink and ate a pretzel with salt and cheese every single basketball game. That is not nutrition. Nutrition is finding a balance of carbs, proteins, and fats. Making sure you eat greens. That was something I was immune to. Like, I hated greens. Vegetables are awesome for you, and I hated them. Um, and then the next thing is sleep. So, um, sleep wasn't important to me because, I was 16 to 18 years old, and
Probably didn't affect you very much.
it didn't. It didn't affect me. It didn't affect me at the time. Now that I look back on it, I definitely know it affected me. Getting 8 hours of sleep. Get off your phone. Your high school girlfriend honestly does not matter.
Yeah.
Both of us had high school girlfriends, and we're not with them.
That's true.
Yep. I am not married to my high school girlfriend.
Right.
And whether you think it's the most important thing in the world right now or not, it doesn't matter. Honestly, does not matter. Be a good person, but sleep is more important. Making sure that you get to bed. I would say for a high school athlete, get to bed at 10 o'clock at night. You'll be amazed at what that can do for you. And then the last thing, mobility. I was always ingrained in my head that I just needed to be strong and everything would follow suit. What's crazy about it is I can squat better now than I did when I was 18. And I'm not talking about weight with squats, but an unweighted squat. I can sit in a squat, basically for lack of better terms, ass to grass, better than when I was 18. My hips are more mobile. My low back's more mobile.
They don't lie.
My knees are more mobile. My ankles are more mobile. So mobile should precede strength. Try to make sure that you keep stretching. You keep doing the exercises that probably your coaches are telling you to do. And they're probably right. That's another thing. Like,
oh yes,
right.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
I hated listening to my coaches, my strength and conditioning
Even in
coaches.
college, a little bit low key.
So listen to them. They are knowledgeable. Definitely listen to them. What they're telling you, it might seem boring, monotonous, but it's good stuff.
But I feel like also do your own research, because you might have not the best coach in the world.
Right.
Like in high school anyway, we had coaches telling, I doubt that there's anybody out there like this still, but we had coaches telling us to close grip bench like this and break both your wrists as you go down.
Yeah.
And do a ton of stupid stuff.
Right.
But but in general, like if you feel like your coach is knowledgeable, and maybe like check on YouTube, figure out do your own research, because I mean that's what we did in college as well.
Right.
But it wasn't exactly for performance. We were trying to get the chest and guns that turn on nuns.
Yeah, we were bodybuilders playing football.
That's right.
I wasn't necessarily a bodybuilder, but he definitely was, and I followed whatever he did. But I also added my own advice and gave my own spin on things, and we wanted to look good while we were in our pads. That is not a good recipe for performance. So listen to your coaches. If you really think that they're doing something wrong, reach out to one of us. I definitely think that we can help you.
Definitely, yes, but definitely I feel like you should definitely do your own research as well. Figure out what's going on, and kind of make a decision for yourself. But they probably do know what's going on. And so this podcast is from time to time gonna have a mixed martial arts focus. I do the commentary for Dynasty Combat Sports, mostly in Nebraska. And so do you have any advice for fighters or people in any combat sports that, might improve their like day-to-day training or anything like that?
We kind of touched on this earlier, but having a movement practice. And that doesn't necessarily just mean strength and conditioning, but working your joints through end ranges. So I like to use this analogy of if you have a wooden spoon in a shot glass. So say this is your shoulder joint. If the wooden spoon is the rest of the arm and the shot glass is your shoulder, do you have shot glass range of motion or do you have salad bowl range of motion? And you might be able to have that if somebody takes you through that range of motion, the salad bowl range of motion, as opposed to the shot glass. But can you actively move your joint through a salad bowl range of motion? I rarely find that in people that aren't having a movement practice of some sort. So if there's a way that you can explore end ranges of motion through all the joints in your body, that goes from the neck to the mid-spine, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hips, knees, ankles, and feet. If you can find a way to do that, that definitely will help. And then the last thing is breathing. Breathing is so important.
Belly breathing?
Yep. Breathing through the belly. Not necessarily just having a full expansion up here, but being able to fill from the tailbones up with your breath, and having a full 360 degree breathing is a great thing. I think that can help a lot of people and a lot of athletes. Just those two things.
Well, there's a lot of room for air in here.
Yep.
All right, so maybe at some point we can make a video or Whitney and yourself can make a video of doing a movement routine.
Right.
Or do you already have one available?
No.
Your morning routine would not be bad for that.
I do have a morning routine. It's kind of on a time lapse, but I would gladly be able to produce that and get that out to you guys, all you subscribers and listeners, you AWLs, award-winning listeners.
Yeah, you guys are winning awards already.
Yeah, but we will definitely get that out. I think that could be very beneficial.
Yeah, maybe we can even do that at Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Center at some point.
Ooh,
that'd be cool. Yeah. Doing it with like a real pro fighter, somebody who's good or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully they don't beat me up if I come there.
You never know.
But kidding. I know he's not the award-winning or the pro fighter because I've made him tap out. In a Care Bear onesie, actually.
Well, at least it wasn't caught on film.
No, it was caught on film. It's on Twitter, actually.
All right, well, all right. So, all right. Do you see any, like, obvious mistakes that some people do? Movement-related, exercise, anything?
I guess in general, it's the general fitness or general strength and conditioning, bodybuilding workouts.
Isolation.
Yep.
Isolation.
Isolating a single muscle group and trying to work that out. Or, for one, like squatting with a bar on the back. For the general population, not a great exercise. There's not too many times that you have weight on your back and you have to lift it up. So deadlifts are a great exercise when done correctly.
Yes, that's the hard part.
Yeah, a lot of doctors will swear against it, but how many times throughout your day are you lifting something off the ground? It happens a ton, especially if you have kids. Even if those kids are dogs, you still have to lift them off the ground. But so I see that mistake a lot, going back to the traditional exercises. So making sure that every exercise that you do fits a need for your general life, whether that's in sport or just your day-to-day living. Making sure those exercises match something that you do every day. If you walk up a lot of stairs, do a lot of box step-ups, things like that. So
shadow boxing with weights?
Yeah, I see you.
Tiny weights.
Yeah, shadow boxing throughout the day all the time, so you should keep doing that. No, that's a terrible idea. Or is that a good idea?
The shadow box?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea.
It's a good idea for fighters. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Okay. Yeah, it's a good idea.
For me, no, I don't shadow box every day.
It's like a 30-year training because like you can't spar every day. You can't do such and such every day. You need to at least get the hand motions through every day.
Okay, great idea. See, I don't know everything.
Yeah. Like shadow boxing,
Yeah, shadow boxing for fighters. Actually, definitely a good thing. General population, I guess, if you want to protect yourself.
Yeah, or move around.
True.
Like you have tiles on your floor, walk across the center line.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like it'll actually teach you real boxing skills too.
This goes back to one of my strong beliefs that no exercise is a bad exercise. Don't write off any single exercise as a bad exercise. Because it can be applied to anything in real life. So don't listen to social media or the media out there when they write off one exercise. Terrible idea.
True. So Whitney and yourself have started Midwest Movement. Do you have anything quickly, like what it's like to start your own business?
So starting our own business has been a struggle. We had planned on being open in August. We graduated end of April, so we moved here in May from Kansas City. That's where our chiropractic school was. And we planned to be open August, and we're still not officially open in our Elkhorn location, although we are treating out of Activate Fitness. They are on 132nd and F Street. Um, Even though we've been treating out of there for a couple weeks, and we will continue to treat out of there. Um, the biggest struggle is just being naive to owning our own business. Um, I would say there's things that come up every single day that we get punched in the chin. Um, and how, and I guess being a good business owner is learning how to deal with those blows to the face. Um, are you one that's going to get down on it, or are you going to go, all right, I learned from that and shake that off. Let's learn from it and let's enjoy this process. Um, I I truly enjoy every step that I have had during this opening my own business process. It's a learning experience. So if you go into your day every day thinking about that, like, what am I going to learn today about opening up a business? Um, Things are just shifted from a negative aspect to, all right, this is a positive. I won't make that same mistake again. So that's kind of been the biggest thing. Um, and then Whitney and I, we're a partnership. So learning how to work together. Um, One of our mentors urged us strongly to take a Colby Index score test, basically to show like what you're good at and things that can hinder the relationship or make it better. And so we took the Colby Index and we found out that we were basically complete opposites. Um, which some people
I
would
can
say
see that. I can see that.
would say that's a terrible idea to be in business with somebody like that. But if you can learn how to make that an advantage, the sky's the limit for you. So one of a quick example is Whitney is a researcher, so she will look things up and investigate things thoroughly before she starts anything. Um, and where I'm a quick starter, I look at something once and I go, all right, what's my gut say? All right, I'm either doing it or I'm not. Um, so so the way that we have learned to do that is um, we are approached by something or we need to do something, and I'll make my gut decision, yes or no. She will do the research and investigate, and then I will sit back on it for a little bit. I'll think about something else, and then we make a final decision together. The other way that this works in an advantage is I'm a quick starter. So if we need something done, I'll start it. And I might not finish the actual um, project, but she will do the investigation and actually follow through. So those are two things that I think have really been great about starting my own business. Able to work together and really enjoying the process.
And the link will be in the description tomorrow. But where can we find you, real quick?
So we are available on Instagram and Facebook. We are at Midwest Movement Elkhorn. And then our website is midwestmovementelkhorn.com. Those three places are, you can schedule through them, and you can also find out more information. If you really have a question, a burning desire, direct message us through those or email us clinic at midwestmovementelkhorn.com, and we will gladly be able to answer any questions that you have.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Yeah.